Hey guys, it's Hunter Olson here with a few tips on zombie survival with my friend Chuck.
Hi.
And he has basically figured out
I
a
wrote
lot of
things
this
down,
stuff.
and there's a few things that are circled if you can see.
And those are the most important things
Yeah,
that you should
really
remember.
important, and if they're capitalized, that's a really good sign that you need it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll
number
let
one.
him do all the talking because
No.
he's the expert.
Yeah, I'm just a guest here.
Well, he's mostly the expert.
Okay. Always stay in a group, which basically means if you have two people, always stick together. No one gets left behind. If you have three people go. No one gets left behind.
If you have 4 people, 2 people can stay at the shelter and keep it safe as the other 2 go out for supplies.
As long as you have someone with you, that's the main priority.
So basically the moral is never go out alone.
And these are in no particular order. They're just written down randomly, so they're all equally important.
Yeah, they're all equally important except for this one right here. This one should be listened to no matter what. Only take what you need, not what you want or what you can carry.
And we'll go over that later.
Yeah.
Conserve supplies. That's another thing. If you have, think of it this way: if you have 5 boxes of Pop-Tarts and you have like 10 months before the military gets here, what are you gonna do? Eat 5 boxes in one day, or are you gonna eat one Pop-Tart each day, half one day, survive longer? Because you never know. Everything's dead and it could be infected. So that's the tip. And then ammo.
Ammo is probably one of the more important ones.
If you have, say 1 box of shells, shotgun shells, and you see you're just like, hey, I'm gonna shoot some beer bottles today.
Don't waste it.
Don't waste it. If you want to pretend to shoot stuff, make a little wooden thing, pretend to shoot it. Or if you had like a BB gun for practicing, use that. Don't use your AK-4.
Actually, I have one more tip, but it's not on here. Just give me 1 second and I'll grab it. And you can keep going through them.
Okay. So next thing, I already went over food with the Pop-Tarts thing. But medical supplies, if you have, bandages, don't just, hey, I have a cut right here that goes from right here to right here. I'm just going to take gauze and wrap it around my whole arm. Don't do that. One Band-Aid ought to do. Keep the cut clean. Now, next thing is water. Very vital because you never know, lake's contaminated or what. It's always a good idea to have plenty of water.
And also, one thing, though, that is important to note about, water, if you boil it, if you put water to its boiling point and you leave it like that for a while, it should be safe to drink afterwards.
Boil it for about 5 minutes, 5-6.
Now, other stuff, like when it comes down to supplies, like have spare batteries if you have a flashlight or walkie-talkie. Always make sure you have a flashlight too, especially in dark rooms. You don't want to get ambushed. Now, this last one is actually the most important. You want to keep in radio contact with whoever else is out there. Now, this one doesn't reach very far, and I lost the back for it, but you guys get the best of it.
You shouldn't even be any farther than half a mile from each other.
Exactly. And if you have only 2 people, like he said, you gotta stay in a group. You don't want to be out there alone, especially because they can get to you they can ambush you pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, it's never happened. So
It hasn't happened yet, but
they could be runners, they could be walkers,
They could jump 50 stories high.
We never know. But on to the next rule. Aim for the head. One thing we do know is that the virus is in the brain. Aim for the head. Which means you're not taking 50-mile shots with your sniper. I mean, that's a little bit exaggerated, but...
Well, some rifles can do a mile-long shot.
Yeah, but not 50 miles. But
not 50.
Anyways, aim for the head. You gotta destroy the brain. Not even just destroy, you just have to harm the brain. Anyway, we'll stop them. Now, next. Only take what you need. He kind of mentioned that earlier.
And now we're back to it.
See, if you take what you can carry... You might be taking 50 pounds of useless junk.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to take what you can need and kind of.
What you can need, you mean what you need.
What you need, and everything. Like, do you need a guns magazine or do you need 50 DVDs or anything?
Well, you don't because you never know if you're gonna have power. For one thing, you never know what you're gonna have when you're out there.
And if you're worried about entertainment, you know what you want? Deck of cards that'll work.
Or a radio.
That there's no radio.
No, one of the old crank radios, in case like the military's broadcasting when they're gonna come through there.
Maybe. That's actually a very good idea I didn't run across yet. But anyways, find a sturdy shelter with multiple exits. Now, you want a sturdy shelter. You don't want to find some abandoned shack in the wood with all rotten wood.
No, you don't.
Because they're gonna break through there easily.
They're gonna break through there in no time.
If it's sturdy, thick wall like this,
That's concrete.
They're not going to be able to make it through that. Next thing is multiple exits. If you have one exit, they're going in there, and you're not going to be able to get out of there.
Exactly.
So you gotta have multiple exits, and that means you gotta take out the saw and saw a little bit off. Go ahead, do that. You gotta keep it barricaded.
Alright, but here's one thing you guys need to understand fully. You guys do not want to necessarily hold up in a house, especially if you're in the basement of a house, because usually, for most houses, there's only one exit out of the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to be in a house in general, because it's the worst place to defend. You don't want to defend them coming through your door, because then what if one of them decides to pop in through your window behind you? It's really not necessarily the best idea in the world either. And also another tip that I'm thinking about, if they can't climb very fast or if they're really slow, I've actually had a few really crazy dreams about zombies lately. Don't judge me. But basically what I'm saying is you really don't want the zombies to be able to get to you so easily. So also what he doesn't have here, you might want a sturdy shelter, but you might want one with like 3 or 4 floors going up and stay on the top floor. Even though that might not be the most practical idea, because then your only exits are on the main floor, it still might be a good idea.
Well, that concludes our video. We'll probably be putting one out, soon, maybe in a week or so, maybe even tonight. Nobody knows.
We're going to be doing another video tonight for sure, most likely.
Anyways, see you guys. See you next time.